What's going on, people? Welcome to Live Palace News. I'm joined by Lou here. It is Monday, the 28th of July. We are approaching August. We're approaching a decision with Paz, but nothing's been confirmed there. However, finally some potential incoming news as well as more stuff that's floating about, which we're going to be discussing today. As always, make sure to hit the like button. Let's see if we can get over 150 likes as we normally do. So thank you to each and every single one of you that do that. And also, even if you're watching on replay, let us know your thoughts in the comment section down below. Get involved like that, and I'll try to respond to as many people as possible. Lou, what are you saying, bro? We got Palace twice this week. We got a game on
four.
Yeah, actually 4 times. Yeah, we've got 4 different games, which we'll be covering both games on back of the next with the live watch along. So make sure to check those out. Of course, one of those is tomorrow afternoon, and we got one on Friday. Well, 2 of those are tomorrow afternoon, and then 2 of those are Friday afternoon. So we'll have watch along as well as other bits and bobs this week. But yeah, how you been?
Yeah, I'm good, man. I'm good. Just waiting for this news to come out. It's a bit like the nurse, feels like a death row waiting for your sentence.
At this point, even if we're going to be in Conference League, just tell us we're going to be in Conference League. That's the stance I've had. It's just boring. It's boring. That's why today I don't even want to spend too much time talking about the Europe stuff because no one knows what's really going on. Apparently, according to the Daily Mail, I think a decision is meant to be potentially. I think a meeting is taking place next week. So that means that unless a decision is made, of course, before next week, Monday, which maybe
is it the 11th? The 11th is the deadline.
Yeah, the 11th is the deadline, but
the community shield, the community shield's on the 10th.
Right? Yeah, don't forget about the community shield. The draw for the Conference League is on the 4th.
Next week, Monday. It's going to say Lyon, Forest, or Palace.
Yeah, well, yeah, it could be that, or it could be Palace with an asterisk on it. So
that's what it said.
Yeah.
But quickly, that if anyone's online and on Twitter and stuff like that, like specifically that journalist that from the Mail, that was clickbait stuff. Like if these people don't understand when you're verified and stuff like that, they want people to be arguing comment sections. They want clicks. That's what I mean. They want visits to the website. Yeah, man. That Keegan guy is a shocking journalist.
Yeah. Well, he's been spouting a lot of stuff since it started, and it was a nothing article today, literally by him about it. That's why I didn't really want to talk about it. But now that you mentioned his name, you mentioned something about Forest sending a legal representatives to go to the CAS hearing next week. Well, I guess it's normal because they're involved. I'm pretty sure Lyon would be doing the same thing. So yeah, it's no news, but it's a case of making Palace and Forest fans argue and more clicks and more rage and this and that, which I'm not going to be engaging in, which I haven't engaged in. So yeah, it's funny enough though, the Conference League draw, as I said, we've got a busy week in terms of games and watch-alongs, but Conference League draw, I'll be covering it. I don't know who else will be around then, but it's meant to be next week, Monday. I don't know if they got the actual time for it. I'm just literally searching for it right now. Of course, there's games to be played tomorrow as well, but that'll be interesting. It'll be interesting. It's the first time we've been involved in such a thing. So for the playoffs, of course. So we'll see. Regardless of the hearing, I'm pretty sure we'll be covering it here. Let's get started with the news, and then towards the end of the show, we'll go through some questions and generalized Palace comments. And
should we say if you've got a question and you want it answered later, just put a Q and a dot now, and we'll go back through it.
Yeah, we'll save it. We'll save it as we'll
save it for the end
through the show. So the first bit of news is from Footman Carter from Santi JM, and he said the following: that Bilal El Khannouss is the first choice for Crystal Palace if Eze was to depart the football club. He's also in a short list of RB Leipzig. Of course, as you can see from the title and from the article, that's if Eze was to leave the football club. I don't think it's anything to be worried about. I'd be more worried if the club didn't have any backup plans for Eze when he was to leave, because that would be very stupid. So he's, according to Santi J, he's meant to be top of the list. But out of all other potential names, of course, Eze would be massive if he was to leave. Do you think that would be the right move?
Not good enough to replace Eze. No, not good enough. I think he'll be the perfect. When we were talking last time on the stream about a player who can probably play both sides and probably play as a winger would be he'd be a good player because he wouldn't come in demanding to start, but he's also talented enough and has the ability to push the first team players. He's a perfect squad player to have in Europe. Yeah, man. But yeah, I don't. Eze is to replace Eze. It needs to be Marquis.
Okay, I think. How do you get that Marquis signing? Like when we lost Elise, we didn't really go Marquis then. We got Sarr.
Oh no, Marquis, but I'm talking about like I would say Gassand would be a viable because Gassand, you sign him and you probably still have 30 million left over.
True.
So if you told me Eze goes and we got Gassand and Khannouss,
that makes more sense. And you mentioned Gassand, which I was going to mention later on, but we might as well speak about him right now when we're talking about potential attackers. I don't know how true this is, but there were reports over the weekend suggesting that Evan Gassand is closing in on a potential move to Palace, and we're getting closer to a deal for the Nice striker, they say, 13 goals, 10 assists last season. However, if you do watch him play, I haven't watched him play live, but I watched like highlights of him. I'll be honest, he fits more into like a number 10 profile in this Glasgow system more than a striker. I know he's been mentioned as a striker, but
he's a forward, isn't he?
Yeah, he's a forward. And I think he can play across the front three. But if he was to join, I can easily see him potentially fitting in the left 10 and the right 10. And those are the positions that we've actually spoke about. And whether we need more attackers because França seems like he's injured again. I don't know what's going on there. And then Rak-Sakyi could potentially be sold. So I think we've got two very good starters in terms of Sarr and Eze. But with Gassand, there are people saying, why do we need him if we have Sarr there? But I think we need different types of profiles at the club, especially with European football next season. And I think he'll be incredible talent. But Gassand, to me, is a bit more exciting than El Khannouss, despite El Khannouss playing in the Premier League, based on what I've seen of him so far. It seems like he can play across the front three.
El Khannouss to me is elite squad player. That's an elite squad player, but not good enough to be in our starting 11 straight away. That's what I think. But I think he has a great resale value because I feel like he has a lot of ability. And when you have a manager like Glasner, I feel like he takes players to another level. So if anyone's going to take Khannouss to another level, it's going to be Oli.
Yeah, well, Khannouss he's 21 years old. He just turned 21, so still very young. I guess he fits the age profile there in terms of developing the player and sending them on for a higher fee. And Gassand, he is 24 years old, so he just turned 24 as well. I think they're both very young, but there's something about Gassand that really sticks out to me. I think El Khannouss, he had a decent season last year in the Prem, but maybe he was playing for Leicester. That plays a part as well. Leicester struggled all season long, especially going forward as well. And if he was to play at Palace, a bit more like a free role with better players, better manager, etc., maybe we see more out of El Khannouss that we didn't see at Leicester. As you mentioned, Glasgow gets the best out of players. So I think they're both decent players, but I think we both can agree that I don't want to lose Eze.
Yeah,
that's the biggest thing.
Yeah, especially like recently, today even I was looking back at some of his goals last season were just it's an all-timer. His stocks are never going to be higher than they are right now because that second half of the season was an absolute joke.
But do you see him leaving?
If I'm honest, now Spurs didn't get Morgan Gibbs-White. It's clear they've got that sort of money for that profile player, and I think they are playing similar formation to us in the sense of the wing backs and the 2-10s. Whether or not they've got bigger issues at left back, left wing back depth for DM, they need a DM or two, and centre backs. I don't know what's the priority because they seem to have quite a lot of forwards.
Yeah.
Madison, Kulusevski, Brennan Johnson, Son, Solanke. So I don't know. How many days left until his release clause is up?
Well, last year it expired around, was it like the 15th, 16th?
They said 2 weeks before the start of the season.
Yeah, well, I don't know if that's
Does
part of the
it?
clause, or I don't know if it's a particular date. So that's the
Yeah.
hard thing. But if it's similar time to last year, then his release clause should expire in around 2 weeks' time,
Yeah.
roughly around that. And I'll be honest, Arsenal are, you didn't mention them, but Arsenal have been the team that's been heavily linked
Yeah.
with it.
I just with the Arsenal thing, I get it. I just don't see how he fits into that team. I don't know where he plays. They
Left
don't
winger,
have.
that's what they want him as, but it's not left winger, but that's
He's
not
not.
our problem.
Yeah, I know. That's why I just don't understand. I feel like if we know, how can an elite Champions League club with elite scouting not understand that he's not a left winger? And even if you was to play him left wing, it would require a left back who is like a touchline, like a Kirkes or a Eight Nori, someone who's going to really stretch the play, a bit like Mitchell does, to facilitate him to take up those little spaces. But I feel like that's where they want their left centre midfielder. That's what they want. Like, I'm guessing Rice is going to play left centre midfield. If Zubamendi is playing DM and Odegaard's playing right centre mid, then isn't Rice going to play left centre mid?
I don't know what they're thinking. But then again, you say that, but we've seen it with Arteta. You know, he brought in Havertz and then thought he was a striker, where I don't think he is a striker. So it just depends on what the manager sees, right? Sometimes we can say, oh, they have the elite scouting and this and that, but it all depends on what they see. It's not just all about the numbers on the computer screen.
Yeah, I really think I thought like someone like Leao would be more of a viable option for them. But like, obviously, we're just looking too deep into it. Like, what can we do in it? There's a release clause. If teams, they're going to be taking a risk on it because he's 68 million. He's 27 years old. He's not going to have any resale value. They're definitely going to lose money on him no matter what. Can they afford to buy a player for that much money that isn't going to start? I'd love for him to stay. I feel like if we get Europa League, he'd stay.
It is a big year for Eze. The World Cup is next year, so if Eze was to, let's say, go to another club and end up not playing as much, that could actually hinder his chances, or potentially, I think he will make the squad regardless. But it could have an impact. It could have an impact on that, especially if another player comes through and starts performing well. Then there might be questions asked, like Eze's on a bench here, not playing as much. Does he? You know. So yeah, I think he needs to make the right decision. But regardless, I'm not as worried. If we get £6-8 million for him, it's a win, and if he stays, I think I'm not going to be upset over that as well. I think the price is decent. But in today's market, with how some players are going, you know what? He might be worth more than £6-8 million, to be fair, when Madueke is going for 50. So yeah, it might be on a cheaper end there. But with £6-8 million, that's enough money for us to work with. We've worked with, you know, similar amounts before, and it's helped us. It's helped us to build a squad and profile. Even now, we're not talking about starters, are we? We're talking about squad depth. I think our starter, as you mentioned, it's up there. Like, it's a very good starting 11. Like, there isn't that much to really improve on.
I did say I think our strongest 11 with our strongest bench available. Even if all of our players were fit, we'd have a quite strong bench. We're talking Riyad and Decore are fully fit. It's a strong bench as well. But I'd say the starting 11 is top 20 in Europe, easy.
There's not that much you can improve on. I want to talk about Sosa after Ozoh as well, because he's exciting, and someone mentioned him, and as well as the other questions I've pinned. We'll talk about it. There's over 100 watching the show live right now, so if you haven't already done so, please hit the like button. We are on 42 likes, so let's see if we can hit 50 to 60 in the next 5 to 10 minutes or so.
Big up Tim. I feel like I haven't seen you since we won the FA Cup, mate.
Yeah, literally. We've all been busy, and I know Tim's been doing stuff for Eagle Eye Football as well.
Tim needs to call up to the legal team.
Exactly. If there's anyone, it'll be Tim.
Get Tim on that legal team.
Yeah, exactly. You put him on the plane.
Send him to Cass. Send him to Cass.
He's built for this moment. He's proved himself. All right, let's talk about Ozoh, as I mentioned, and I want to go through some of the comments as well. David Ozoh has been linked with a move back to Derby County on loan for the remainder of the season. That's according to John Percy from the Telegraph. He was there last year, but of course he got injured. Ozoh, with how many midfielders that we have, do you think that is the right move for him and his development?
Yeah, 100%. We were talking about it today with Patrick. he wasn't as happy with the loan because it's like the same environment that he got injured in. But I think due to that injury, he might have probably not got another championship team because at least Derby know what he can do. So the main thing is to play, because I think once you get 30, let's say 25 minimum starts to 35 starts in the championship and you're consistent, I then believe you are ready for the Premier League squad.
Yeah.
So if he has a good, if he gets 25 to 35 starts next season and Derby have a good season and his output's good and he gets a couple of goals and he makes things happen as a 20-year-old in championship, he is then ready to come into the Premier League squad.
Yeah, and I think the injury kind of ruined him. Of course, like he didn't get an opportunity as much. He only played 10 games last year for Derby in the championship, and he had one.
But they loved him.
At the start they did. I remember they were like, "Wow, he's very good."
His first goal, I think he got injured in that game, and then he never came back.
And how many loans do we actually do to the championship? Like,
see that Rak-Sakyi's loan annoyed me last year because I didn't think Sheffield United was the right place. Because there was a promotion chasing team, it looked good on paper, but I feel like he would have thrived more in maybe a London club that needed a bit of spark, like a QPR or someone like that. Like that's where I think he would thrive. Obviously, there's reports of him. I think Rangers are trying to get 10 million together to get him, which I think it would be a good move for him because I think he'd probably walk the Scottish League.
Yeah, but £10 million, it's decent. Last year we could have potentially got 15 to 20 with Southampton. Yeah. How much they were interested, and I think Palace are holding out for similar type of figure. It says 10 million based on reports, but Rangers they might need to.
If you can get add-ons, because probably at Rangers, if you like put a Champions League clause in or something along those lines, that they're easily met, and if there's an incentive for Champions League, like, do you know what I mean? They want to make it. But who are we?
There'll be a selling clause as well on top of that.
It's pure profit though, isn't it? So I'm sure that could facilitate getting another play through the door.
Yeah, we've already hit 60 likes, so shout out to everyone that's already liked the video.
Quick question for the chat, quick question for the chat. Patrick said it in a group chat earlier. Who do you think will go on to have a better career, Rak-Sakyi or Romain Esse at this moment? Who do you think? Who do you think goes on to have a better career?
Well, I think we're betting on Esse. That's what I think. By signing him, even back in January, there were talks about what's going to happen because of Jez. But I think that's what we're betting on as a football club. It was a similar case of
if Rak-Sakyi went to the Rangers,
Johnston, and
if Rak-Sakyi went to Rangers as a starter like competing, and Esse stays as backup to Sarr, who does everyone think trajectory will be better? No bias. I think it's quite close. I would hope to say Esse, but I think it could be close.
So based on that, do you think it's the right moment to sell Rak-Sakyi?
Yeah, because you can't have one or the other, and we've already picked who we're gonna take.
Yeah, but we're not. You're saying it's close, like it's still undecided because they are close to each other. So can't we, have Rak-Sakyi for another season with European football, domestic cup as well? France is out injured, so down the left hand side, for me, the ideal scenario would have been Eze Francois and then Sarr Esse. But if France is out injured again, and remember there were talks about him potentially going out on loan, could Rak-Sakyi play down the left? Could he be that option? Yeah, and Eze, be the backup option to Sarr? Could they both, play that backup role together for one more season?
I think Rak-Sakyi situation's got a bit it's run its course. Like he needs a new environment.
Yeah, a lot of people saying Esse. Esse. I haven't seen anyone say Jez. Oh, Jez should stay. We need depth with France always out injured. That's what I said.
If we manage to sell Franco, I said it would be a miracle if we managed to sell Franco.
Is he is injured, right? Because I saw that. It seemed like he's picked up another injury. I don't know how serious it is, but I know Nketiah was injured, but he's back now. And who else was it? Guehi. Yeah. So they're both back, but it seems like France is out injured again. Hopefully, it's nothing major. unfortunately.
Khannouss would be who we expect Franca to be, but if we're being real, Khannouss is light years ahead of Franca.
Well, yeah, he's been playing he played in the Premier League last year, and he's had a decent career so far for his age. But yeah, if he's injured again, then it's like what do we do? Because Eze needs proper backup. We'll sort out the backup for Tyreek, which I want to get into now.
I was going to say quickly. Do you think Ahamada could? Do you think that's him as a 6 now, or do you think that he can now he's settled and now he's comfortable in the team? Do you think he could be seen as a backup to Eze as well? Because that was where.
Let me ask the question back to you in terms of: do you see Ahamada as a number 10? Because initially, when he first joined, I did think that would be the role, and then we saw it didn't quite work out, and then Glasses used him in the midfield role. But do you think, of course, there's different responsibilities? Do you think he can play as a number 10 role? Do you think that is his best role for us in the Premier League? What you've seen from him?
I think in Europe he could play a 10, but I think the pace of the Premier League when we're in transition, we need Eze and Sarr. And I feel like he's better building up the play and breaking it up and playing forward like he did in that Crawley, even in the final when he supported Mateta and he got the layoff and he played it just those little connecting passes. But like when we're fully in, I don't see him as, when Eze arrived in the box for the goal in the final and on the edge of the box in the semi-final, I don't see Ahamada as that. But I think he could do a job there in Europe because the pace of the game isn't as fast as the Premier League and as physical. But I only think he could really be used in that 10 role if Decore is fit, because then we become light in midfield again. Hence why I was thinking a bit, maybe we're signing a centre midfielder for Ahamada to be a backup 10 as well as a centre midfielder. And then so you have Ahamada, Eze, Sarr, and you sign another right 10.
The thing is, he might be a starter right now. Ahamada.
If I'm being honest,
alongside Wharton in midfield. So
our best 11 right now is Ahamada and Wharton by far, but easily.
Yeah, and then behind him, I think then Lerma.
Yeah. I think Lerma's more backup centre back.
Yeah. Lerma is like a situation.
Deveni's probably in there at the moment.
But yeah, well, Deveni's another number 10 option as well. This is the thing. I don't talk about Ahamada or Deveni, but like. I think there is a drop off. There is a drop off. I think that's why the how do you pronounce the name? Ghassan. Yeah. The links to him make a lot of sense. People are saying we have Sarr and Eze, but I think there's a drop off after Sarr and Eze. There's a big question mark. Is Eze ready to carry a full season? As a proper number 10, because we didn't really see him much last season. So is he ready for them responsibilities? Is France going to stay fit? So there's so many question marks. So Ghassan makes a lot more sense where we can rotate. It's going to be very demanding next year, very demanding. We saw it with the FA Cup. With the FA Cup alone, normal domestic season with no European trophy, no European competition, it was still demanding. And if we go past the playoff round, if we're still in the Conference League and we do end up in the conference, it's going to be a lot of games. So we need another player that can be a starter in terms of Ghassan in the forward line. Because right now, to me, the forward line is Eze and Sarr, and then who? We don't know. Could it be Ahamada? Could it be Eze? Could it be this? Like this, we need a bit more certainty there, a bit more player that's ready, that can step up and perform when needed. Because God forbid an injury happens to Eze or an injury happens to Sarr, then you're looking again, you're thinking who's going to step up. And if it's a long-term injury, then we have to, it won't be easy. So, that's why another forward. We don't need that many signings. I think another number 10, I think Ghassan makes a lot of sense. Centre-back and potentially a right wing-back. And I think we're fine. But Decore needs to stay fit.
That's if Guehi and Eze stay. But
Yeah. That's what I'm saying. Currently, right now, if Guehi was to leave, then we need 2 centre backs. I think we need a centre back regardless.
The Carl, who the Palace guy, Carl, he was on Twitter, now he's on Instagram. He said most likely 3 to 4 out, 4 to 5 in.
Well, we need to start getting them out.
But I think
Edward has travelled with the squad.
Nothing's
imminent right now.
I do think everyone talks about buy-in, but I think in this day and age, selling is just as important as buying. just as important. You see Liverpool, they're thriving because
About to mention that
they can
got
get 65. They're selling 65.5 million Luis Diaz, and Man United can't even shift Rashford for a fee. So it's a good selling club. Chelsea as well, a good selling club thrives, and we're traditionally not a very good selling club. We're a good buying club.
Recently, not too bad.
Yeah.
I guess it wasn't great for us, but it was still better than losing.
It was still profit. It was over 30 million in profit. So
yeah, exactly. Yeah, we at least say Wan-Bissaka, he was good, but I know what you mean. Generally, like we couldn't do it. Well, we didn't do it. So yeah, let's see. Especially with players that are going to be very hard to sell. Like Edward, I think his stocks come very low. That Leicester move was shocking. It didn't help us at all.
I'm praying FC Neom or
someone,
or Al Hali or someone Al Shabab. One of you guys, please.
Like, 20-25 million pounds here, take it. But they're smart, you know. The Saudis are smart now. The Saudis are not wasting money. Like they're smart.
I don't think you need to sell someone for the same amount you bought them for. Tim will know this. Correct me if I'm wrong. That the asset depreciates. So if you bought someone for 20 million, 4 years later, if you sold them for like 10 million, it would count as profit on your sheet. You don't actually have to sell. So if we bought Edward for, let's say, 18 million pounds, I think to break even, it wouldn't be very much, but to be in profit wouldn't be very much. But correct me if I'm wrong if someone knows it in the comments. But I do know like the assets do depreciate.
Yeah, of course they do depreciate, but I don't know in terms of football and the value how that equates to that. But if we was to get anything around 10 million pounds for Edward, I'll probably take it right now. 7 to 10 million.
10 million euros, I'll take, bro.
Yeah, well, yeah, 7 million pounds. That's what I meant. Like anything, like around that figure, I'll take that.
Yeah, there you go, Tim. But how does it work, Tim? How does it work by year? So if Edward was signed for 18 million pound on a 5-year contract, but he just signed a new 3-year deal,
did he?
Yeah, remember he signed the new deal and went on loan to Leicester.
Edward new contract.
Don't remember he signed because we had to.
Yeah, he signed it till 2026. He's on the contract till next year.
26. I'm sure he signed. What 20? Yeah. No, okay.
Yeah, so he joins Leicester City on loan. This was in 30th of August 2024. He signs a new contract with the club until 2026.
Yeah, see, as Tim said, at 10 mil we'd make a profit. So.
Yeah. So if we can get 10 mil, which I think the club would be happy about, that would be decent. Let's go through some of the comments and questions, and then afterwards we'll wrap up. But if you haven't already done so, please hit the like button. Thank you. Each and every single one of you that's done that. Are we near 100 now? Let's see. Let me just quickly refresh that. We are last time I checked, we was on 76. Nice. Yeah, we're on 76, so not that far away from 100. So
yeah, getting Edward off the wage bill would be good as well. That's probably what's stopping the deal as well.
Ahamada, right wing back. Is he gonna stay?
I said he's got the attributes to play there, but can you tactically play there in the Premier League? Are you mentally strong enough? And let's be real, Glasner knows if a player's built for it, or if his heart beats Kool-Aid. He knows which one.
I'd rather sign a right wing back, to be fair, a player that can actually play in that position. Because Sosa, whilst we're going through the questions,
but he can play both sides, can't he?
Who, Ahamada?
Sosa.
I don't know. He's a left.
I thought he could play both sides.
I thought you're just left-sided.
Can someone confirm? I think he might play.
I'll look to see Bernardo Sosa last year where he played in terms of his position.
I think he's traditionally a left back, but I don't know if he could play both sides.
I'm just having a check right now. But what have we made of Sosa so far? Because I'll be honest, in the 2 games that he's played, I'm very excited. I'm very excited by him.
This is why Tim's so important. That's why we need Tim in the fan base, man. What a guy. Look at this, we've got a breakdown for everyone.
5 years, depreciating about 4.25 mil per year, and we've had him for 4 years, right? Probably just for 4.25 mil left to depreciate. We don't need the big fee to get profits for PSR. So as he said, I think 10 million pounds would be profit as well. I know Sosa just plays down the left-hand side. His main position is a left back, but he can also play as a left midfielder.
Okay.
So he can't play down the right.
I've liked
him so far, though. I've liked him so far. Yeah. Well, you've been talking about right wing back. for a while.
Yeah,
But then
we
I
managed to
personally
escape
wouldn't
last
want
year.
that anyway. I,
We,
I
we
wouldn't
managed,
want that anyway. I'd rather the Sosa be a proper left wing backup option, because that we've been neglecting that position for ages, and we go and get a right wing back or right wing back. Like, let's just have players in their actual positions, like get proper depth. But Sosa, I'm telling you now, it's very early on, yes, but there's just something in me to say that he's going to be seriously knocking on the door next year.
but these are the type of it's underrated. Like, I know we've only spent 3 million, but like, this a great 3 million, a great backup goalkeeper, and it's a start. And the difference, I see people, obviously we can't take Twitter for, we got to take it for what it is, but I see people stressing about, oh, Glasner said he wanted early signings, this and that. This season is completely different to last season, because he actually has, there's no one missing. He has his whole team there.
Yeah, he's working with the team, yeah. And you can
Got
tell
this
by the
whole
way we
team.
played against Crawley as well. Like,
Bro,
everything went well.
I'll be honest, like, I know normally we are so bad to watch in preseason. Like, it's horrible. Even last season, we didn't have any players. Where we was in,
We spoke them last year as well, though.
yeah, but last season we was in some random place in America playing at 4. What I was doing, watching it at 3 a.m.
Yeah.
Like, if I'm being honest, Crawley, every player looked on it. Like, they would look like they was. And then now, I like the fact that we're in Austria. It's not too far. We got 2 games against European teams, and like, they're just, everyone's there. No one's missing. The whole squad's there. Like, we could happily play Liverpool in 2 weeks.
Yeah, they look ready. Well, we'll see tomorrow as well. By the way, we're doing another watch along tomorrow and also Friday for tomorrow's games. We'll be live in the afternoon to cover the game against Mainz, which of course is Mateta's old team, who signed Mateta off. Right? Yeah, it is. Is he actually cool with them? The way he left, I think he had a problem, right? Or am I wrong?
Like, I think Saint Etienne won it. Wasn't it Saint Etienne that were going to sign him?
I don't know. I think
there was a whole thing about his trigger of his release clause or loan or something like that.
Yeah. So well, we're back again tomorrow for 2 times 60-minute games, and then I think on Friday we got 2 90-minute games as well. So 4 games in the space of a few days. So that should be exciting. Hopefully we get to see a bit more of some of these players that we mentioned. Let's go through some comments before we wrap up. Lewis, and I know it's boring to keep talking about this, keep talking about it, but with all the rubbish connected to this European saga, in your opinions, what are the chances of our appeal being successful? I think it's just hope now. I don't know what's going to really change it. It's hard to know because we're not really there with the evidence that Palace have. But I've kind of given up. I'm not as hopeful about an appeal.
If there's any justice or common sense in the world, we'd be in Europa League. But as you can see by the world around us, there isn't much justice that goes on in the world, and there's a lot of common sense missing. So we're going to have to deal with whatever comes. We're going to have to be a bit of a laughing stock. We're going to have Forest sing songs at us. We're going to have other rival fans saying hold that. The big thing is for me,
if we want a trophy. People forgetting that we want a trophy.
The big thing for me, if we get knocked down to the conference, we need to be switched on for that playoff, because if we get knocked out of that playoff,
that'd be embarrassing. I'll be pissed off. That would be very annoying. But of course, if you go past the playoffs, then that would be nice. In a way, it kind of helps us as well, the playoff game, because it only means that we play 6 games in conference rather than 8. I know some people would rather watch us play 8 games in Europe. But technically we'll be playing 8 games. It's just a playoffs start early, so it's not like they're all jumbled up. So I guess that's good as well during the season. But yeah, let's see what actually happens with that. I'm not as hopeful. David saying Amari Hutchinson at Palace. This must be like a burner account for a certain individual trying to catch you out. Because I've never ever heard anyone mention Amari Hutchinson till now at Palace. But now you.
By the way, quickly. For the private joke, there was a rumor that Ipswich wanted 35 million for Amari Hutchinson, and I said he's nearer. His values were closer to his value is closer to 3.5 million than it is to 35 million for him. For me, like, I wouldn't pay more than 15 million pound for Amari Hutchinson. I just don't. I saw him play twice last year, and I thought Mitchell was just looking at him like, "What's this guy on?"
Yeah. I would rather someone else. Animal saying, is it safe to assume that that should we not get Europa, we can forget about signing Dion Monday? I think Dion Monday.
Lisbon. Let's just leave Sport Lisbon alone. After what I see with Gyökeres, I don't want it. I don't want anything to do with him.
Yeah. What do you think about Guehi then? Do you reckon he still leaves? I'll be honest. I don't want him to leave, but in a way I do as well, because I don't want to. Do I want to lose him?
Maybe this is a shot in the dark for me. I think Newcastle sign Guehi if Liverpool sign Isaac, because I think they'll use those funds to spread around. Botman come off of an injury again. Dan Burns like 35, Shaw's 33. Then it's back down to Lascelles again, and they can't go into the Champions League without signing the centre back. And they'll have the funds to. If I think 50 million gets Guehi done, so I think if they get 120, 130 for Isaac, they'll probably get Sesko or what's it called?
They've been having howlers though. Newcastle, despite getting Champions League football, like a lot of players have rejected them.
Yeah, I think it's a perfect market opportunity for Spurs and Newcastle. They both got Champions League football, and for Guehi, he's guaranteed to start at both those teams. He's not guaranteed to start.
Who do you want to go there though? I don't mean this as disrespect.
If the package is right,
he's got a contract. He's been linked to Liverpool. He's been linked to other big clubs. If he waits for another year, he's got more options. Being free agent, but Newcastle now.
Yeah, but Palace won't allow that.
I don't. Well, Guehi needs to sign a new deal as well.
I think Guehi would happily play for Spurs or Newcastle.
I think Guehi would happily stay at Palace and run down his contract.
Yeah, but we don't want that.
That's why he wants to leave as well, huh?
But we don't want that.
Exactly, but we can't force someone as well to join the football club. I don't want to join the football club.
Liverpool need him, but he's not guaranteed to start there. I think if Newcastle have the front, Newcastle are a bit all over the place at the moment. Tottenham just got Marinakis with that whole Morgan Gibbs White situation, but both of those players,
the interview, I mean,
but both of those teams need Guehi. Like they really need him.
And I think that's why Guehi is not really in rush to make a decision.
But we need to sell one player at least.
Yeah, and I think the club do want to sell Guehi. That's the vibe I'm getting, but it's not as easy as it seems like as well. That's the annoying thing. Like I'm kind of looking at the Guehi situation, saying, where does it go? Liverpool? I think that would be a great move for him. But yeah, like right now, it's a bit hard to say if he will leave. I think he should. I think there's more of a chance of Guehi leaving than Eze. Still, based on the Arsenal talks, like kind of slowing down, and there's a release clause there. If a club really wanted Eze as much as they say they do, then they can match a release clause. But we're entering August, no one has matched it, so it's going on and on. So I don't know how serious those clubs are. Guehi, I think we want to sell him. I think he would want to leave for the right club, but also
I think we sell him for
because
I think we'd sell him for less to Liverpool than we would for Tottenham or Newcastle.
Yeah, and maybe Liverpool still end up getting him. And if they do, then I think this links to Dion Monday, and maybe we'll go for Dion Monday then a bit more seriously. But as I said, we need 2 centre backs. If Guehi was to leave on 1 centre back right now, even if he wasn't leaving a football club. What else have we got? We got Tim saying, do you think Glasner is willing to give more opportunities to youth?
Depends
if they deserve it.
They're good enough.
Yeah, I think he will.
But just quickly on this comment, he is not signing a new contract.
You don't think there's any chance?
No.
Why not?
Why would he?
Let's say he gets a significant pay rise for a year, and there's a release clause of, I don't know, let's say £40 million. Why would he not? You get paid extra for 1 more year.
Because it means that he might earn less at the next club because they've got to pay a fee for him.
Yeah, it could be. But
he can get all the coin himself.
He's right now. He's in power. He's in such power. That's what I'm saying. Like even if Newcastle came right now, I don't know if you'd want to go Newcastle.
Mark, Guehi's on 50 grand a week.
Yeah, but I don't think is that true. Let me look. Of course, we can't know for certain when it comes to like their accurate wages, but surely he's on a bit more than that.
Elise says different. Elise says a different kettle of fish.
Yeah, but Guehi's still up there as well. Nah.
Guehi, Elise's
on-
contract wasn't up. He's had a long contract,
Oh,
Elise.
maybe it is. Maybe is it verified? Is it?
Yeah,
Apparently,
Elise's contract wasn't up. Different scenario.
yeah, exactly. Elise still had years, I think, in his contract.
Yeah.
Yeah, well, reportedly is on 50K a week, but
that
let's
makes
say
sense,
we
'cause
double,
that's
let's say we
insane.
double that, make 100K a week, and add the 35 million pound release clause. Come on, someone pays 35 million pound for a player that's going to be starting in the World Cup next year, or 40 million pound. Now, come on, like, why would you not want to earn 100K? And another big club, if he's on 50K a week, another big club will be paying 100K a week at least, or 120, 150. That's not that crazy amounts of money. He's not on high wages.
I'm not saying
I think it's going to be a win-win situation for Guehi. Well, Guehi and the football club, because it's just dragging on, and we don't want to lose it for free. And losing it for free is kind of scary. Like the thought of that is actually it is scary. So we'll see. Our only chip with Marcus is tell him he's not a guaranteed starter. Where at Palace he is. Why would we? Oh, maybe at another club potentially, yeah. And look, that's why I think Eze and Guehi are happy staying at Palace for this year, because it's the World Cup year that's coming up. So if they play regularly as they've done, they'll be called up to the England squad, they'll be going to the World Cup. There is that risk that if you leave Palace, then someone else could take your spot in the final year, which you don't want to do that for him. Anything else you want to mention before I wrap up? Just quickly, Caleb, backup right wing back option. I wonder if Glazer lacks him for the role.
Is he injured?
Yeah, I don't know. I don't know if Glazer actually likes him. I think Glazer rates him, but he didn't get that many opportunities last year, to be fair. Well, Munoz was class and he was on fire, but we'll see in pre-season. Ahamada played right wing back because, as you said, I think he is injured, but I don't know how much Glazer actually rates him. So if he doesn't rate him, then we need another right wing back. I think it's simple as that. Yeah. All right, cool, people. We're going to wrap up now. If you have enjoyed it, hit the like button, subscribe, and let us know your thoughts in the comment section down below after the video ends. Tomorrow, live watch along in the afternoon for our third preseason game. And then, of course, on Friday, 2 games tomorrow, 2 games on Friday. We'll be covering both days and all 4 games, hopefully, on the channel. Like, subscribe, and until next time, up the Palace.